What's up, soccer fans? The road to the UEFA Champions League is heating up, and we're down to the final stretch. 7 golden tickets are left for the group stage, and 14 teams are battling for them in the playoff round. But the headline story? Jose Mourinho. Yes, the special one is back in the spotlight, leading Turkish giants Fenerbahce against his former club, Benfica. Think about it, 25 years after Mourinho got his very first shot as a head coach with Benfica, he's now facing them with everything on the line. This isn't just about advancing to the Champions League. It's about history, pride, and proving he still has that magic touch. And for fans, it's a dream matchup. Mourinho versus his past, with the biggest stage in European soccer at stake. Let's set the scene. The UEFA Champions League qualifiers aren't just filler games. They're make-or-break moments for clubs that live on the edge between Europe's elite and everyone else. 7 winners from this round will make it into the prestigious group stage, guaranteeing at least 8 high-profile matches, millions of dollars in revenue, and global exposure. The losers? They drop down to the Europa League, which is still a solid competition, but it doesn't carry the same glamour, prestige, or financial benefits. That's why these playoff ties are packed with tension. For some teams, it's about survival. For others, it's about reclaiming old glory. This season's playoff round is especially intriguing because of the mix of clubs involved. On one hand, you've got European regulars like Benfica, Celtic, and Crvena Zvezda, clubs with Champions League titles in their history. On the other, you've got hungry challengers like Norway's Bodo Glimt, Cyprus's Pafos, and Kazakhstan's Kairat, all dreaming of their first ever group stage appearance. That clash of tradition versus ambition is what makes this round special. It's not just big teams beating small ones. It's about underdogs trying to write their own fairy tales against established giants. And sometimes, those fairy tales come true. But no story is bigger than Mourinho. For Fenerbahce fans, having him on the sidelines is like having a living legend. Mourinho has won the Champions League twice, once with Porto in 2004 and once with Inter Milan in 2010. He's managed Real Madrid, Chelsea, Manchester United, and Tottenham. But here's the twist. He hasn't been on a Champions League touchline in over 5 years. His last appearance was in 2020 with Spurs, when RB Leipzig knocked them out. Now, nearly 25 years after his very first managerial job, Mourinho has the chance to mark his return against the club that started it all. So how did we get here? Fenerbahce finished second in the Turkish Super League last season, meaning they had to go through the qualifiers. In the third round, they faced Dutch side Feyenoord, managed by former star Robin van Persie. It was a thriller of a tie, ending 6-4 on aggregate for Fenerbahce. They showed fight, they showed goals, and Mourinho showed he can still craft a team that delivers under pressure. That win set up this dream showdown with Benfica, and it's safe to say that neither side is taking this lightly. Benfica, meanwhile, come into this playoff as heavy favorites. They've been a consistent presence in Europe, reaching the round of 16 in last season's Champions League and also making it deep in the expanded FIFA Club World Cup. Along the way, they beat Bayern Munich and pushed Chelsea to extra time. This is a team built for European competition, with quality players across the board. They're not just aiming to qualify, they're aiming to make another deep run in the Champions League. For them, missing out on the group stage would be a disaster. The matchup between Benfica and Fenerbahce isn't just about tactics or lineups. It's about history and psychology. Mourinho has already admitted that Fenerbahce might not be a true Champions League contender. In his own words, winning the Europa League is possible, but winning the Champions League would be an impossible dream. Still, he knows the value of getting there, the money, the prestige, the fans' passion, and he knows Benfica better than most. That makes this a battle not just of teams, but of wits and wills. Let's talk players. Fenerbahce have quietly built a squad with some recognizable names. Fred, the former Manchester United midfielder, brings experience in the middle of the park. Then there's John Duran, the young Colombian forward who's already played for Aston Villa and Al Nassr before landing in Turkey. Both were on the scoresheet in their win over Feyenoord. This is a team that may not be loaded with superstars, but they have enough quality to make life difficult for anyone. Under Mourinho, that's usually all you need. Organized structure, a couple of clutch players, and belief. Benfica, of course, are stacked with talent. Greece international Vangelis Pavlidis is one of their key weapons, scoring 7 goals in just 12 Champions League matches last season. Add in their depth, experience, and tactical flexibility, and you have a side that is built to dominate qualifiers. They'll look to control possession, use their speed on the wings, and force Fenerbahce into defensive mistakes. Benfica know that if they play their game, they should win. But Mourinho's teams are known for spoiling the party, and that's exactly the role he loves to play. Outside of the headline clash, the playoff round is filled with other fascinating ties. Crvena Zvezda take on Pafos from Cyprus. Rangers battle Belgian champions Club Brugge. Ferencvaros face Qarabag. Celtic host Kairat, while Basel play Copenhagen, and Bodo Glimt square off against Sturm Graz. Each of these matches carries its own drama, with clubs from across Europe chasing the same dream. For some, it's about returning to the Champions League spotlight. For others, it's about breaking through for the very first time. The format is simple. 2-legged ties, home and away, decided on aggregate score. That means every goal counts. And away goals, while no longer a separate tiebreaker, still add to the tension. First legs kick off this week, with second legs wrapping up next Wednesday. And just days later, on August 28th, the Champions League group stage draw takes place. That's when the winners will find out if they're going to be facing Real Madrid, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, or Barcelona in the league phase. The stakes could not be higher. For fans, these qualifiers are a chance to see the passion of smaller clubs, the tactical brilliance of managers, and the hunger of players trying to prove themselves on the biggest stage. While the Champions League proper gets most of the global attention, the qualifiers often deliver some of the most dramatic moments of the season. Think about it. For a club like Kairat or Pafos, making the group stage would be life-changing. It's a financial boost, a morale boost, and a moment that cements their place in European soccer history. For Mourinho, though, this moment is personal. He lasted just 11 games at Benfica all those years ago, leaving after a dispute with the president. Since then, he's built a legendary career, but he's never forgotten those early days. Facing Benfica now is like coming full circle. Win, and he secures Fenerbahce's first Champions League appearance in nearly 2 decades. Lose, and critics will say the game has passed him by. It's the kind of high-stakes drama Mourinho has always thrived on. No matter what happens, the storylines are already unforgettable.